So how did you get to the decision to do more product development? Because you could easily do more client work and someone else do the product development. But why go the route of you do the product development and someone else take over the client work that you're working on?
It's a good question. Well, being the owner of the company, I can work on whatever I want to work on, get the
Sure.
final say.
Yeah.
But that's a great point. We could technically hire people to do this directly.
Yeah.
And I trust any of our guys we have now currently to be able to just go in and work on a product. But we see we see the overall trajectory of the company in the next several years being the biggest part of the company will be product revenue. And so I just want to make sure that we're focused on that. And me doing it, I'm sad to say that I don't constrict myself very well to the 8 to 5 hours. I will
Hmm.
probably spend 60 hours a week working on stuff like this. So if there was anything that I want to be overworked, it's the product side. And I don't want to tell my developers that they have to work longer hours.
Yeah.
So and Matt will not be happy at me for admitting all this, that
Yeah.
I work more than, you know, whatever our normal weekly hours is. But I really want these things launched. I want them launched well. So just spending as much time as I can on them will certainly help.
Yeah. So the main thing is you want uh like you want these products out fast so
Mhm.
bad that you're not going to
Yeah,
ask your team to have 60-hour weeks and you shouldn't.
yeah,
But
right,
it is something that you want to do.
right.
And so you're doing it. I respect that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And like
I did it as
I
well.
don't know if I just don't need a lot of sleep. I I go to bed pretty late and I wake up at a pretty normal time.
Yeah.
So I may get like 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night on like a normal night. Sometimes if I'm really ambitious, I'll get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Sure, I'm a little tired once in a while, but I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. Maybe I just don't need as much sleep as the average person. I think it varies from person to person. Maybe I
Mhm.
got lucky that
Definitely.
it's not great for me.
Yeah, but I want to go down a lot of rabbit trails right now, but I want to stick with I think the biggest thing to get out of this little section right here is like the delegation part. You're putting client work on your team so
Hmm.
that you can free yourself up to essentially do the only the work that you can do. Like my philosophy on assigning work to someone else is you should only be doing the work that only you can do. Everything else should be assigned to somebody else. So,
Hmm.
what is your game plan for bringing those other developers on? Like, get really tactical. Like, what's it look like? Does it look like you're handing off 20% of the work? Are you doing it one task at a time? Um, Act like you're telling me how to do it because I also want to know how do I assign work to people and I don't have to do it myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question. And myself, I worked by myself development for 4 to 5 years. And so I'm I'm not an expert at trying to work with a
Yeah.
team, a large team like that. I'm just so used to being able to just get in there, do everything I need to do without anybody else caring or knowing about what I'm doing
Hmm.
or having to coordinate anything. So it's going to be a challenge for myself too once we get into that. One thing that we're trying to do with the platform is create it in a very modular way where these pieces could be very independent and almost live by themselves.
Hmm.
So I think that will help. If certain developers or certain teams will own pieces of the platform, that maybe that's how we solve that. But there's obviously going to be some toes being stepped on once in a while. The other thought is we're not just working on one product, we are working on several. So if that ends up being, it's distributed just by product, if we have 3 or 4 different products being worked on at the same time, then everybody gets their own product to work on. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I think just also specializing across that. If we have specific skill sets in DevOps, we have specific skill sets in AI, maybe people will just own those pieces of the platforms of the products. But yeah, I do think we're heavily focused in AI productivity right now, so that if one person can, with the help of their AI assistants and agents, run with a single product, and just that one person works on it, maybe you split it up between backend and front end developer, maybe it gets that far. But I definitely see AI helping there.
Yeah.
Is takes the place of a couple junior developers, where you can really lead the direction of the platform or the product, and your formerly junior developers are now your co-pilots and your
Yeah.
cursors. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like just implementing the tools uh, to make it easier for things to not be so dependent on one person. Because even
Hmm.
the agents and the models helping people code can also help document. And so,
Well, yeah.
which is, roughly a third, or could be the third of an engineer's time.
Hmm.
If you were to have a developer build something for 10 hours, it could easily be documented over the course of 3 hours or four.
Yes.
And
And
so
and test writing too.
with AI and everything, it saves a developer time. You build something for 10 hours and then you could add 3 or 4 more hours on top of that
Yeah.
to document it.
Document
And then
and
you're
tests
going
too.
into tests. Yeah.
I've never been a great tester,
Hmm.
so I'm really hoping that this takes the place of all that.
Yeah. What are you guys doing? What are you guys using for testing? Are you guys using AI for tests for like
Um,
unit or end to end?
well, there's a lot of playwright tests. So primarily, uh, we've been focusing in the .NET stack, and
Mhm.
Playwright fits very nicely into that, which is like a browser automation testing, so end-to-end browser automation stuff. And there's several other unit test libraries for .NET that are nice. And I know our we have a dedicated QA guy,
Yeah.
and he's been experimenting a lot with AI in that regard. He kind of showed off a video the other day of him playing around with, the term everybody's talking about right now, MCP. So MCP into Playwright, so that Copilot can actually talk directly to the automated browser. Really cool stuff. So I think we're going to find a lot of improvements there.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I have not had time to play with that. I really want to do more with testing because I think there is a company out there now. I can't think of the name. There is a company who is doing browser automation with AI, and that just sounds like, for one, you could do like scraping on steroids, but then for two,
Hmm.
like you could do a lot of testing if you just describe your product to it, and then you give it a browser at that URL, it'll figure out what it needs to
Yeah.
test.
Yeah, and it's becoming more and more easier for just anybody to do that now with MCP. So MCP, if not familiar, is just like a common protocol for AI to talk to some service.
Is it Model
Basically
T?
defines the tools that they can have access to resources and run actions against something. And so if you think about the browser as just an external tool, you can take actions to navigate around, and you can get resources, which is the HTML or a screenshot from it. The AI can just talk directly to it and figure out exactly what it wants to do. So it's very cool.
So Model Context Protocol,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's kind of the new thing, the new standard that people are adopting for talking to external resources.
So this is the new API.
It is. And all it really
From
takes to
XML
you,
to JSON
yeah.
to to
Well,
this.
all it is just like a couple different endpoints of a list of resources and a list of actions
Hmm.
tools that an AI can see, and it's just JSON coming from that. But it's just that standard. There were things like this already, different flavors from the different LLM providers and AI systems. Anthropic came up with this one, I believe, and really it took off, I think, because of everybody's love of Cursor.
Yeah.
So it became what everybody was using and talking about. And I know some of the other players have just admitted in the last week or two that they'll start to implement MCP.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end my workday because we are actually at Sweetwater having some more conversations about it. And so I'm going to probably end my day and spend a good chunk Monday looking into this
Mhm,
because I've heard it all over the place and I'm super
mhm,
excited about it. One thing I'm starting to see like frameworks and libraries do is create an llm.txt. Like so
mhm.
myframeworkwebsite.com/llm.txt and it just exports all of the documentation as README. So you have like one place to just go dump context into
Uh-huh.
whatever LLM you're using.
Yeah, that's smart. And
Yeah,
I think most platforms, if they want to stay relevant, are going to have to make it AI friendly
yeah,
to be able to interact with it. Even like a lot of the big ones, it, people talk about Stripe all the time.
yeah.
They're redesigning their platform to be super easy for an AI to use, for agents
Yeah.
to just go and buy things, which is really interesting.
I'm really excited about UI-less software. I
You're
think
just
software,
interacting with the agent and it's doing its stuff. Yeah.
yes. I have a project in my backlog. I have for Infacto, my business, I have another developer who he's an overseas developer and he's just doing all my selfish projects. Laravel developer, super into the framework, very nice. And he's going to be helping with some client work, but mostly the projects I want to do. And one of them, go steal this idea, is a very simple custom GPT essentially, but you interface it through texts. And
Hmm.
all you do is like you just save the contact as like my assistant or whatever. So I can say I'm gonna say, "Hey Gorgle," so that my phone doesn't do anything. But you can say like, "Hey Gorgle, text my assistant to remind me to get milk tomorrow. I'm at the grocery store," and then it would ask a follow up question, or it would build out, some kind of thing to go store a job somewhere.
Hmm.
And so, if anything has a JSON API now, like it could interact with it. But I think with MCP, it becomes easier for a product like that to say, make me a reservation on an open table
Yes.
or I don't here's my budget, $100 a night in St. Padre, Texas. Go find me a decent one with go find me a decent Airbnb that's a whole house at around $100 a night, and it will just do that, and then it'll let you know. And
Hmm.
Airbnb is going to become valuable for its data, and maybe partially because of its UI. Right now, it's really nice because of its UI. It's great, and it's got a good index of properties. But building the index of property is like right now maybe half the battle. The other half is making a good user experience. And whenever that goes away, I think there's going to be a lot more capitalizing on, real good ideas and actual good data. Who has the
Yeah.
actual best places to stay in their index?
Yeah. Yeah, that is
'Cause-
a really good thought. And I don't disagree that we're definitely going to see that.
yeah.